The U.S. has firmly established itself as the #1 consumer of wine in the world, overtaking France and Italy. But how does the U.S. wine industry adapt to natural disasters such as California's devastating drought and changing tastes? Michael Mondavi is CEO of Folio Fine Wine Partners and former CEO of the Mondavi Winery, and he joins us now. Welcome, Michael. So lovely to have you here.
It's a pleasure to be here. Good morning.
Your family has had such a long history in winemaking in California. How long has it been since U.S. has been #1 in wine consumption?
U.S. was never #1 in wine consumption. We were behind France and Italy, and it's just in the last couple of years we've taken over.
Fantastic. Tell us about the weather, though. Right now, El Nino, the devastating drought. How is that affecting wine production in California?
Well, we're actually going from famine to feast with the rainfall. We've had 4 years of drought. The water tables are dropping, but with drip irrigation, grapevines do not require a lot of water. In fact, if you look at history, grapevines are planted in very arid areas or up in the hills where the row crops needed the more fertile soil. So vines are drought resistant, relatively speaking. We've had smaller crops. The bad news. The good news is the quality's been better. The grapes have been more concentrated, more flavor. So when you taste a Chardonnay or Cabernet, you go, wow, this is yummy.
Fantastic. Has it affected, though, the sort of the production? Is California wine production still outpacing Australia?
Yes, we're about 1/3 larger than Australia in production.
Interesting.
And from a pride standpoint, we like to say our wines are also much more enjoyable.
So tell us about who is buying wine now and at what price point, because we know the millennials are now a big force. Do they like their wine as much as the baby boomers?
The baby boomers are the largest consumers presently, but the millennials are catching up, and we break the millennials into two groups, the older millennial, the younger millennial. The younger millennials, you're going to love this, over 50% of the women, when asked what is their favorite alcoholic beverage, prefer wine. That same group, only 17% of the men prefer wine.
So women are a big category of wine drinkers.
They are very important, and I believe women have a better taste than men. They look at the balance, they look at the nuances of the wine and the flavor. The men pick it up and say, oh yeah, it's wet, it's cold, it's good.
Right. Well, speaking of, you brought some delicious wines with you. Tell us what you brought here.
We brought the first is called Emblem Chardonnay. It is made by my son and daughter. And they're really a great tag team on this. My son is the true winemaker, but when it comes to the final blending and the balance, my daughter is the guide, because he knows that she can pick out the nuances and the elegance of the wine over what he can do or what I can do.
Fantastic. Let's give it a taste. Cheers. Thank you so much.
Good health.
Delicious. Now, tell us, what are the wine trends you've noticed recently? What sells now? Is it red? Is it white? Is it Prosecco? What's popular?
Prosecco has been very hot, growing dramatically, over 20% a year in volume. From a price category, wines from $9 to $15 are growing at about 16.5%. Wines under $5 a bottle are shrinking at about 3%. So people are not willing to drink wines that don't taste good.
Do you see the wine do you see wine sales as a barometer for the larger U.S. economy?
We've watched that for years, and I think it is a precursor to the economy. Think about it this way. The restaurants here in New York, people entertaining. If the CEO of the company or the treasurer of the company says, you know, we better tighten our belt a bit, entertainment budgets go down. And we watch New York, Chicago, Boston, the restaurant sales, and that gives us a little early warning on what's happening with the economy. Conversely, when the sales pick up, we go, aha, good times are ahead.
Good times are ahead. Speaking of, so which is more popular, red or white wine in the U.S.?
Well, in the U.S., it's pretty well balanced, and the tiebreaker is rosé. So do you call rosé a white wine, or do you call it a red wine?
I don't know.
Cabernets are still the most popular of the red wines. Chardonnays are the most popular of the whites. But particularly the millennials and the Gen Xers, ABC, anything but Cabernet, anything but Chardonnay. Show me a new variety. Albarino from Spain.
So they're more
Nero d'Avola
adventurous. They're
from
more
Italy.
adventurous. Yes.
They are very adventurous, and they don't care so much about the ratings. They're interested in what their friends say on a text or a tweet. Wow, I tried this wine. Have you tried Albarino from Spain? It's delicious.
I think I'm going to have to try it. What are we trying here now?
This is the Animo Cabernet Sauvignon 2011 vintage from our estate vineyard on Atlas Peak in Napa.
Lovely.
And it is 14% Petit Verdot, which is a wine that gives you a little violet in the aromatics and a liveliness, and the balance is Cabernet Sauvignon.
All right, let's give it a taste. Delicious. Lots of flavors in there, very layered.
Yes.
Michael, thank you so much for coming and seeing us today and bringing these delicious wines. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Please visit us in Napa.
I will. Cheers. Thank you.